Hi there, this is Michael Neetu and welcome to Tutorial Tuesday, where we'll be talking about a specific drawing technique that you can use and get better quality work because of it. The topic for this week is entourage, as in drawing trees and shrubs to better your perspectives. So why do you need to know this? Well, there's no instance of drawing anything, any sort of design or architectural element, which couldn't benefit from having proper entourage. There's two types of entourage out there, trees and shrubs, so basically plants, and people/other elements, which we'll be covering in a different lesson. So now that you know why you need to learn to draw entourage, let's look at some examples of proper entourage. We've got two possible ways of doing entourage, two graphic styles. The colored entourage, like the one here, which works fairly well for a simple vertical structure. You've got this band of trees going around it, which contrasts through color and shape. Next up, you've got a band of trees going around a modernist house, or a modern house, we call it actually. But the entourage is white, simple. So you either have colored entourage, or you've got simple white entourage. What's the purpose actually behind entourage? Beyond looking good, it needs to emphasize the contrast between your straight, very angular design and the surrounding vegetation, but also it needs to cover the horizon line. You can tell that our little trees are conventionally located behind the house, somewhat covering a horizon line for our perspective. If not, this would have caused a lot of trouble. You can see all the way around the earth basically because you don't have anything to stop your perspective. So this sort of thing could happen if you don't draw entourage for your work. In this case, the entourage is somewhere at a higher level. You probably know this design, it's Falling Water by Frank Lloyd Wright. But the gist of it is I wanted to draw it in the winter time. So you've got blue skies and snowy rocks over here. Because the horizon line is somewhere here, the surrounding rocks covering up the horizon line. So your entourage is just mainly graphical. And this is a 50 by 70 centimeter long design, so imagine it takes quite a bit of time to follow through. You've got two options. When you've got a vertical design, you need to have horizontal entourage. So you can't really throw in a vertical tree here because it would compete with your vertical volume. And this doesn't look as well as you'd like it to look. Vertical design, horizontal trees. A box design, fairly horizontal trees. But here you've got an horizontal design and you've got vertical trees. So you've got stuff that just pops out. You actually could go for drawing a very detailed tree in the foreground. This would work for a very well foreground tree. You can see an example over here. So this tree acts like a foreground tree work. It sort of frames your main design. You don't want to make it look too simple, like it's just a building smack in the middle of a simple plain. It doesn't work like that. You need to have something that sets it in frame. So in this case, you've got a foreground tree, this background part over here, which features shrubs, and a mid-ground area, which features an alley and grass and stuff like that. This is a very good example of trees. This is a large drawing. So you've got foreground trees again. You've got background trees, which are these little shrubs, which are fairly easy to draw, and they work fairly well with any design. And you also got these mid-ground trees, different shapes. These could be used as foreground shrubs as well. Shrubs and trees work together. Depending on your design, you can actually make them sit in some sort of little design box, or draw one of these planes to make your design stand out more. The little box thing would work with proper modernist design. You can actually have some of these shrubs over here. And the other simple shrubs or plain differences, they could work in these cases where you've got like traditional architectural bodies. You also got these planner trees, which are actually used for graphics for all your plans. You can lump them up together and contrast them in different shapes. Drawing them like this is one thing, but applying them to all your work is quite another. So the last element of entourage, let's look at how you can draw these trees. Well, I'd recommend you, these foreground trees, you can draw them by having a white surface. You get nice contrast between the leafy part and the tree trunk. Let's look at another example. This sort of thing. You can draw the leaves of your tree in slightly earthy looking color composition, green with a bit of red and maybe a bit more green, and you actually can go for even these crazy colors like purple. We draw what we know, not what we see. Although there's no purple trees in real life, we can use purple just for a graphics effect. Then the last thing you could use for drawing these trees is a cast shadow from the top of your tree. So it's like we're seeing the under parts of our little tree, and then we've got a little cast shadow which is dark, held up by a cast shadow over here, which looks fairly well. It gives a bit of depth to your design. The last element would be using the points graphics. So don't forget you can throw in some leaves, falling leaves and stuff like that. They make your foliage look a lot more realistic. And the last thing you could use is a proper woody grain drawing. It offers fairly spontaneous graphics effects on drawing your trees. You see them here and here. If you found this video useful, don't forget to share it with your friends and subscribe to the Freehand Architecture channel, because there's going to be a lot more videos following up with many lessons on drawing. Don't forget to take notes. Actually watch this video several times, because it's going to make the info sink in better and better. And you take care and draw nicely.